How do I prioritize threats in order to effectively move throughout my day? All right, welcome back. We are going to continue our conversation about how I manage or mitigate stress, anxiety, and worry in my life. If you haven't went and watched the video prior to this where we talk about my morning routine and why it's important setting us up for a day or setting us up to conquer the day, whatever the challenge the day holds, go back and watch that video, man. It's important to start off at that spot before we move on to what we're about to talk about, which is when we are done with our morning routine, when I'm done, and you have to get out into the world, man, and you have to engage whatever it is that's coming your way, whatever challenge the day holds. Obviously, we have to get into that. So I'm going to talk through that, and then we're going to hit my evening routine, what helps me wind down in the evening. Now, the way that I engage my day is I prioritize my threats. This is a tactic, this is a skill that you learn in the SEAL teams, prioritizing threats, especially in close quarters combat. When you are clearing through a structure, you're going to have multiple different types of threats or potential threats or unknowns in that structure, and you begin to train your mind to walk into a situation, look at what's happening around you, picking out the things that are the immediate threats that you have to engage. Once you engage those things, then moving to neutralize the unknowns, and then moving to neutralize the things that are just there vying for your attention, all right? So I approach my day much like I would approach a close quarters combat scenario. I read my day just like I would read the room, all right? So once I've worked through that morning routine, I think through my day, and I think, what is the priority of threat? What is the most important thing that I have to do today? All right, maybe it's the thing that's right in front of me that I have to engage, right? And I put all of my effort, all of my attention, and all of my energy into attacking that thing that is most important, right? Take care of that right off the bat. After that, you know, those unknowns, the unknown things, usually those are things that are 2 days down the road, 3 days down the road, maybe a month down the road. Those unknowns, those unknown challenges or situations are always constantly present in my life and trying to work their way into my mind. I am not going to give those unknown situations, I'm not going to give those things any consideration until I take care of the threats that present themselves that need to be handled that day, all right? Once that's done, then I can start to give some consideration to whatever's coming, maybe tomorrow, maybe a few weeks down the road, right? I don't worry about those things, but if they need some consideration, if I can set myself up for success, I make time to do that after I engage what I need to engage that's right in front of me that needs to be taken care of that day. Now, the third thing that's constantly vying for my attention in life, and you guys can probably relate to this, are all the little dramas and all the little nagging things and all the little gossip and you know, those things they will consume you. They will overwhelm you. And it's wild because those things will consume you. All those little dramas, all the issues, right, that are vying for your attention that don't really freaking matter. It's those things that'll consume you. I have to audit myself every day, and I have to audit the people that I'm spending time with in my life, the phone calls I'm taking, the relationships that I have to constantly be aware of those parts of my life because I am constantly making an effort to eliminate those needless things in my life that are vying for my attention. What's going to happen if you don't prioritize your threats? What's going to happen is you are going to be stretched way too thin throughout the day, right? And so when you are engaging with whatever the challenge in front of you is, when you're engaging with that thing and you're trying to overcome that challenge, At the same time, you're trying to think about what's happening tomorrow. And at the same time, you're concerned about all the little dramas and stupid stuff in life that doesn't really matter anyways, right? And so you're never really good at anything. Prioritizing your threats, prioritizing what matters, what you need to take care of in the day, and giving those things, allotting those things the time and the appropriate energy, it's super, super important when it comes to being effective, at least for me. I'm an instructor. You guys know we run live training. When I have a student, when I have a class that's right in front of me, what makes me good at being a teacher and being an instructor is my ability to prioritize threats, right? So when I'm engaged in a class teaching a student, I'm not thinking about what's happening later that day. I'm not thinking about what's happening tomorrow. And I'm not thinking about any other bull crap that might be coming down the pipe. I am thinking about what we are doing in that moment, and I'm giving my full self to that. So understand, the best way to be effective is to prioritize your threats and engage them at the proper time in the proper order. It really, really works. It's a tactic, right? And it helps you overcome stress and anxiety. It helps you stay present. It helps you stay focused and engaged on what matters when it matters, all right? I work through my day. I take all the threats out, give consideration to the unknowns, audit myself on all the bull crap, and then I'm ready to wind down for the evening. Now, gosh, it's freaking hot out here. Speaking of hot, one of my biggest things that I use to wind down for the evening is this little unit right here behind me. That's a sauna. This might sound silly, man. My buddy Jesse Itzler introduced me to the sauna a couple years ago, and I thought it was a silly thing that people with too much time on their hands had to do. And that is actually a lie. Since I have started using that sauna as part of now my evening routine, it has helped me tremendously overcome the stress of the day, all right? So inevitably, even if you prioritize your threats, you engage them properly, some days you're still gonna feel overwhelmed before you go get in the bed and you need to get some good rest. Man, I can come up here in this sauna and I can sit in this thing for 15, 20 minutes and it is almost like it melts all that residual stress that's left over from the day. It's almost like it melts it away, right? And it helps bring me back to present, because I preach a lot about being present to you guys. That's a huge thing that helps me mitigate stress. Well, sometimes to come back to the present moment, you have to put yourself in some extreme conditions. When I get in this sauna, man, after about 8 or 10 minutes, it gets so hot, I can't think about anything except for that heat that I'm sitting in, right? Now that forces me to take a few minutes where I am being present with that heat, right? With that extreme temperature. And I think that coming back to that present moment, that is actually the thing that melts the residual stress of the day away for me. I think it's a huge, huge tool, man. I think the cold water can also be used in the same manner. I look at hot and cold therapy not from a place of physical, the physical benefits. I'm using it more from a place of the mental benefits and helping me overcome stress and anxiety. And at the end of a hard day, being able to use that extreme temperature to make me super present. And man, when you're super present, stress, anxiety, and worry can't exist. All right? All of those things are the result of you looking too far ahead of yourself. So, prioritize your threats. It's a tactic. Use it. Write them down if you have to. I don't. I think through them in my mind. At the end of the day, the evening routine, have something at the end of the day that's going to force you to stay present for that, or to come back to present. That for me is those extreme temperatures. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you took something out of it. If you haven't, subscribe, because again, this is the middle part of this series. Here in just a little bit, I'm going to share with you guys on the third video the top 3 tools that we were taught in SEAL training that helped me overcome extremely stressful situations in BUD/S. And we're actually going to demonstrate those things for you guys, so I think you're really going to love them. Nuff said.